Okay, first we have some free sites that we use. We use sites like ZabaSearch, White Pages, and dozens of other ones that you can find just by looking around. But you know what's interesting? What's really emerged as the best type of free site lately is social networking, and I had never even thought about using it until I'd heard about somebody doing it over the summer. Now, most likely, the claimant or somebody that the claimant knows has a MySpace or a Facebook page. Now, my sister Maggie actually found a claimant using MySpace, and it was really simple. I'll show you real quick how she did it. She went to myspace.com and went ahead and typed the claimant's name in the search box at the top, and that was because she couldn't find him anywhere else. And he had a bit of an unusual last name, so that helped. Okay, and the search results came up, and there he was, right in the county where the funds were located. And so we were 99% sure that it was the right guy. So all she did was click the send message button, which is right here, and they started corresponding by email. Okay, now this is really funny too. A lot of times you can find people just by Googling them, and that'll often lead you to where they work or provide another clue that you can use to find them. You know, once I used every resource I could. I couldn't find a claimant anywhere, including paid sites that I had. And as a last-ditch effort, I just Googled him, and he showed right up as a professor at our local Purdue University campus, and his office address and phone was listed right there. So never forget to Google people. Okay, and we talked about paid sites. There's some out there that are really powerful. They're going to give you a lot of the resources that a professional skip tracer has. And some of those sites are Accurint, Merlin Data, Locate Plus, IRB Search, even a specialty site called findtheseller.com. And that site should just be called findanyone.com because someone doesn't have to be a seller in order for them to work with you. Now, Merlin Data is really good. They have a rep over there that will give you a personalized demo and work some of your actual leads if you like during your demo so you can learn how to use their system. And they give you a couple free days to test drive it too after that. And you know, there's even some good online government records more and more every day, stuff like court records. You can look at those online. A lot of times people will send in court papers with their new address, their phone number. You can search other property records. Just so many ways you can find people. So now that we've requested that list of overages from some counties, and we did some research online to locate some of the claimants. And we found all the information we needed over the internet to get started. We contacted the counties by phone and mail to get our lists, or email, and we received those lists back by email or mail, and we found our claimant online also. So notice we're not running around all over the place making things happen. We're right on our office chair doing this from home if that's how we choose to do it. So let's talk about contacting the claimant a little bit. We're going to contact that claimant in one of a few different ways, okay? Everybody's going to get a letter at every address we can find for them for the last few years, and we'll see if we'll get return mail. We're also going to make phone contact with every claimant that we can, too. And if we still can't find them, we'll try to reach them through relatives and associates. And those are usually pretty easy to find through paid sites or even social networking sites. So in just a second, I'm going to tell you some of the magic words we use on the phone to quickly get a claimant comfortable with us. Because I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, man, if somebody called me telling me I had unclaimed money coming, I'd probably think it's a scam, especially if I checked my state site and I wasn't listed on there. And if you're thinking that, you are exactly right. And I'll tell you what not to do. Don't start your call off with, today's your lucky day. That's not going to do a thing to help you there. But if you say the right words, you'll nurture that desire that everyone has to believe you, and that's that they have free money coming they didn't know that they had. So what do we say on the phone? Well, we overcome a claimant's natural skepticism and try to build their natural desire with a few magic words that instantly frame the conversation in a different, more legitimate light than someone who calls and says, hey, you've got money, I want to get it for you, or today's your lucky day, something like that. One of the magic words that we love to use is audit. Mr. Jones, my company, Hammond Funding Group, audits government records for unclaimed funds, and we found money that we believe belongs to you. Now, what does that do? I mean, what do you think of when you hear the word audit? Probably things like accountants and finding errors and making them right, all legitimate kinds of things like that. That word alone puts us in a favorable light and gives us instant credibility. How about discussing our fees? Well, we're going to say to the claimant right up front, we never get paid for locating these funds unless we're successful collecting them. We never charge any upfront fees, and we split anything we can collect with you 60-40, with you getting the lion's share of the funds. Now, what does that do? That assures the claimant that we're not going to try to switch the deal around, so they have to end up paying us something up front like a scam would. And I love that term, lion's share, too. Makes them feel really good that they're getting most of the money without getting into discussions about reducing our fees. And you know, what works in our favor all the time is that no matter how skeptical someone is, the desire for that free money is always strong, and if someone has money coming, they want to get it. Everybody wants to experience a moment like this. So let's go back to Jay's story. We left off with Jay getting his first out-of-state list of unclaimed funds almost immediately by email. And he was a little nervous calling people at first. You know, I think he wasn't expecting that list to come in so fast, and he was counting on a few more days to think about it before it came in. So I recommended that he just get going on some of the small claims the first couple days so he could get used to the scripts on the phone that he was going to use. And that way, if he messed anything up, it wouldn't be a big deal. And with any luck, he'd get a deal going where he could at least make a few $100 and get his first claim under his belt. Now, I showed you this list earlier. The first list that he got had quite a few claims, but only a few of them were over $1,000, and there's only one that was really good for $7,000. But I told him to get going on those that are in the $1,000 to $2,000 range, and he got started with those. And I kid you not, on his very first call, he reached the claimant with $1,700 due to him. You can see him right on the bottom here, $1,723.88. And that claimant said, you know, I could really use $1,000 right now. What do I have to do? And a lot of times that's all claimants will say, what do I have to do? And, you know, $1,000 is roughly the amount that guy would get after Jay's fee. So Jay got off the phone and called me right back like a half hour after we last talked and said, Rick, I think I just got my first deal. Well, turned out he did get his first deal. He got rolling in late June, and by July 9th, he had his first check, and that was awesome. Now, as you can see, Jay didn't get rich with his first overage check. I think he made $700, $800 on it. But it made all the difference in the world to him to do a claim from start to finish and get his first check right off the bat. And that reminds me, real quick, when you get your first check, I want you to frame it. I don't care if it's for $500. The boost that you get by doing your first deal and showing yourself that you can get checks coming in days after starting is just incredible. It made such a difference for Jay when he got this check in. And, you know, getting your first check is just like almost anything new in life. The first time is the most challenging, but it gets so much easier from there. Now, Jay's gone on to process dozens of more claims since then and brought in tens of thousands of dollars for the next couple months in business. Now, how about Maggie? I was telling you about how she found her claimant on MySpace, and they emailed back and forth for a while, and he wanted to learn more. Well, he checked out the website she'd set up for her company because he couldn't figure out for the life of him where those funds were coming from, but saw she looked legit and agreed to have her process the claim. And she got her paperwork out to him, and a couple weeks later, her check arrived, and that one was a lot nicer. That one was over $8,900. And she teamed up with Jay on that one, and their finder's fee was almost $4,000, and they were more than happy with that. Now, I've been mentioning some paperwork we need to